Well, welcome to the Pure Light Project podcast. My name is Andrea Mai, and today we have Veneta on. And Veneta is one of the wonderful people who has volunteered to do a session with me so that others can get a sense of what does that look like? What does it look like to do an energy healing session or a reading with me or with anyone? Because sometimes we have a notion about these things, but we don't know. Um, my wife says, "Are you going in to do your gypsy reading now?" Just in jest. But so today we're gonna start by checking in with you, Vanita, and seeing how you're feeling today.
Hi, Andrea. Yeah, I have definitely been feeling like I want to sleep a lot. Just feeling like somehow my body's wanting to rest. I don't necessarily have the explanations for it. Like I was sharing before, I know energetically there's a lot of stuff going on, eclipse, full moon, all these things. So I'm like, maybe that's part of it, but that's kind of what's been going on. And I think for me, I'm in a place where I am really trying to kind of move forward with things that I'm creating. And I'm really wanting to release anything that's no longer serving me so
Yeah.
that I don't have anything holding me back. So I can kind of step into what I'm looking to create more of.
Yeah. And does that feel like, is there a sense of a particular area that you need to release in? I mean, is it around the blocks around the creative work? Is it uncertainty about what happens when you do follow that path? Where, or something else entirely?
That's a really good question. I think like as much work as I've done and most people do, I just want to make sure there's not still too much of that energy of like playing small or feeling like I'm not deserving of
Yeah.
many wonderful things, or the sort of self-confidence that comes along with it. So it's kind of, I feel like if there's anything kind of hiding that I'm not really seeing that's lingering out there, I'm like, I'd like to get to it.
Yeah, yeah, I love it because you are as radiant as that background, right? That star that's got big arms, big beams stretching out, and to do that, to meet yourself in that energy, um, and doing it in a way that excites you first and foremost, right? Uh, that's beautiful that you're ready to just like, let's go, let's find that stuff that's hidden down in the sludge and the sediment, right? When you start out, it's right on the surface, right? It's just like
Yes.
algae floating, and then you get down, 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 deeper and deeper. um all right, so what I'd like to do is, let's just set the stage here. Let's just take a moment and come in to the room, to yourself, to your body, the experience of how you are and how you feel right now. So maybe that's tired, maybe it's energized. Feeling the body in its fullness. So let's start from the crown, like just above the crown, and just waving that scanning wand all the way down. Noticing where there's heaviness. Maybe there's areas where it's just dancing. It's really bright energy or really busy energy. Just noticing. And we go all the way down to the bottoms of the feet. And let's actually go take with your awareness. Really often we're scanning from the front or from the center, but let's go from the back. So going to the backs of your legs towards your ankles, right? Bring that scan all the way up, backs of your legs, through your hips, lower back, upper back, backs of the arms, the neck, and all the way back up to the crown. Is there any area that stood out for you as being kind of congested or thick or a, an area to focus on, I guess is what I'm asking.
It's interesting. I do feel a little bit of heaviness kind of in my head and crown area, just something that feels a little dense.
Yeah.
And I sense like I have some congestion in my nose
Okay.
and
Yeah.
maybe my lower back. There's a little area kind of on the lower back that just feels a little heavy.
Okay. So I'm going to take those areas of focus and work in the quantum field. We're just releasing, I'm calling in your highest self, my highest self, our teams, whatever that means for each of us, right? And your most um, optimal vision for what it's going to be like when that heaviness is gone, when that tenderness is gone. So you just can sit there and notice and receive. You don't even have to notice, just receive. Acknowledge to yourself if it feels good to receive and clear these blocks. You might indicate yes, either inside or outside. Allow your cheeks and your jaw to soften. Might just gently part the mouth open just a little. Let your jaw go a little loose, soft. And if it moves anywhere, let me know. And it's either the feeling of heaviness or just anything you notice. If it shifts and you want to bring attention to it, let me know.
There's quite a bit of tingling that's happening on the lower back left hand of my skull.
Okay, I'm going to actually adjust the occipital ridge. So that's when you're on the back of the neck. It's the easiest place to begin. Just making sure that the actual like skull itself is aligned to release any pressure. So it's very subtle. You may notice it, you may not. Allow your body to shift if it needs to.
So the energy has moved kind of more towards the center of my crown to the top, the tingling energy.
Yeah. There's definitely this sense of pressure right above the crown is what I'm picking up, that it's in the sense that's coming in is almost like it's an unconscious desire to control it, to limit it, like maybe it'll be too much, right?
Mm.
And so a beautiful thing to know, and you probably heard this before, right? But you can open that gateway, but you can put the dimmer switch on to whatever you need it to cut the pace, the rate at which you feel okay with it coming in.
Also feeling kind of like I don't know how to describe it, like just this energy that's kind of on my upper right shoulder back area. And it feels
Shoulder.
tingly, like in a good way,
Yeah.
but there's like almost like a shape hanging out there, just vibrating. I don't know how else to describe it.
Your angel wings trying to.
Yeah, it's like something is there, and it's like, that's interesting.
Okay, let's roll the shoulders a little bit. Allow that to integrate. Might roll them together. Each time taking a good breath. You might roll them the other way, seeing if there's any difference. And then you might do a little wave motion back and forth. Oh, yeah, there's. Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit of toning. That's what's coming in. And actually, I feel this hasn't come through before, but inviting you, if you feel the need to tone or make any kind of sound or hum, go ahead and do it, right?
Okay.
But it feels like there's yeah, that's just what's coming. It's interesting. It's a very feathery sensation. Like very feathery sensation all the way through the center that I'm picking up for you, from sort of the thymus down to the solar plexus, down to the sternum, into the ribs. Yeah, there's a lot trying to open up in there. Let's take a couple of, in fact, we're going to do 5 good breaths. So I'm going to work the energy, and I invite you to just take deep breath deep down. So filling the lungs and the rib cage, really almost like open your arms up. This has been coming through for a lot of people this week. This almost like needing to lift the arms up to really get a full expansion of the rib cage. So breathe as much as you can, keeping the energy, keeping the breath flowing. You don't need to hold it in any way, but just, and when you exhale, really just allow full expression of it. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So we're going to do 5 of those.
sounds good.
So inhale. It's interesting. I'm sensing sort of this shadow. There's actually two dark circles, is what I'm seeing, sort of one on each side. I think they're almost like energy centers that we need to unblock. It's interesting. I've not seen that before. So, and it's kind of right here, and it goes all the way through. Clearing, releasing these portals to receive the light that is ready to come in, the ready light that is ready to um, be shined, be shown, light that is ready to shine through. It's very much. It is almost, this can laugh or joke, but it really does feel almost like the sense of angel wings, where those would come in the front, like all the way through to the back. It feels like you're ready to soar. You can trust that. And soaring takes action. As we leave from the branch to get into the sky, it takes doing something. And then when you finally are in flight, it takes skillfulness and precision to ride the winds. And the currents of the wind will carry you as far as you want to go. Take a moment and actually, if you can, if you're able to just drop the chin down so you feel that sort of a pull down in the center of the upper back. And let's bring your arms in and hug yourself in that position. And take a few deep breaths until that becomes very relaxed. When it feels good, you can release that and come back to center. And actually, in this moment, just take a moment to you just rest against the back of your chair. Just allow your body to almost just slouch, just be a little relaxed. How is that lower back now? What's happening there?
think there's, it kind of has moved up a little bit, but there's kind of like a band.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that it feels a little tight or stiff.
Okay. So let's do this with our imagination and just play with it, see what happens. Imagine yourself curling forward. So just like that hug position, but imagine curling. So, like in yoga, a cat cow sort of thing
Mhm,
where we're curling in.
mhm.
Qigong, we can do this standing up. It's, I mean, you can do it, call it what you want. It, but really curling and tucking the tailbone.
Mm.
Just notice there. Okay. So I'm going to run a little bit of energy there. Very interestingly, what popped up, um, is there something around money in that area as you're feeling into it? It came in very, put it this way, when you consider your relationship to money and moving forward, where is that, or where's that showing up, or how is that showing up for you right now?
I've worked through a lot of stuff with money, and I feel that I'm in a place of trust. Um, because the thing that came to me as you're working, the words that were coming to me was feeling supported by the universe. And maybe that's where I'm saying it, but maybe I'm not fully trusting or believing it.
So let's think about, I want you to bring to mind, um, maybe it's the last time, maybe it's just any time, that you can recall where you were surprised by support from the universe.
Mm. Yes.
Okay. So let's take that feeling, bring it into the heart, bring it right into the heart space, in fact, let's take that memory, that feeling. We're going to enter the heart now. So imagine before you a door that leads into the heart itself. And when you're ready, turn the knob and enter. And walk in and look around. In this whole, you're carrying that beautiful memory, that beautiful feeling of being surprised by the universe's support. Inside the heart, there are different areas, the sacred space and the tiny space. We're not going to get into that just now. We're going to just stand in the heart and let that feeling. So the purpose of this is really, we're just literally going inside the heart and taking that joy, that thrill of being surprised at how supported you are. And you're just going to dance with it inside the heart. Just dance, wild, joyful abandon. And it's going to fill that heart. And the heart space has a field that is so big, so big. It's radiating out. And when you're ready, express gratitude for that moment when you were surprised. And you can do this inside of you or with your words. It's all fine. But express gratitude for, just you see it that you are. And when you're ready, you can take as long as you want, as long as you choose. There's no rush. But when you're ready, maybe you make a little bow or dance a little jig, and then you can come back out from the heart space. Leave that gratitude inside of it. Mm. So how did that feel? What was that like for you?
Yeah, that last part was really wonderful because I have a very beautiful space that I've created as my heart space. So every time I'm able to go in there, I just get really excited. And so it's so funny, before you even said anything, I was already outside and I could see the rainbows and I was already like feeling the sparkles and, and then you're like, oh, or dance or what. I was like, yes, I'm here. So it's totally my happy place, but I really wanted to stay in that place of that gratitude for, how many times, not just that one time, that the universe has provided and taken care of me,
Yeah.
and so it was just a really beautiful reminder to come back to that feeling and just kind of like enjoy it and sit with it, and then to give gratitude, like you were saying,
Yeah.
So I absolutely loved that. So thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Is there anything that you would like to check in a little closer to, or how are you feeling in terms of what we're doing right now today?
Yeah, I mean, this is really wonderful, Andrea. And I think, it all depends on where anybody is on their journey. I'm an energy healer myself. So for me, as you're working, it's a beautiful validation to actually feel what you're doing. So that was really nice to be really present, like how you were shifting energy, and I could like feel it in my body. So want to reflect that back to you, that I did feel the energy, because I think that's important for people to hear, that that's possible. It's not always going to be the case, but that is also possible. So just a confirmation that I did feel that, and I can just tell my body feels more balanced.
Okay. Yeah.
And definitely more relaxed, which is beautiful. And so, yeah, it's been really powerful. I do have a question, which, maybe we can cover, maybe we can't, but
let's
I've had this spot, if you can see it.
Sure.
And I'm still trying to tune into exactly what's going on. It was basically like a cyst, and then it
Mhm.
popped, but I was on a trip, so I couldn't take care of it as much as I would have liked to. And so it's still there, but I feel like energetically it's more than just that.
Yeah.
So if you're getting anything, I would love some information. If not, that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. So give me a moment. What's coming through, sense it for yourself, but what's coming through. So you've been doing a lot with your voice, a lot with bringing your voice.
Mhm.
The sense is that that was almost whatever was delaying you from using your voice,
Mm.
and it has passed, and now it's just like it's working its way through. You've done the healing. This is
Mm.
just the next piece. Now sometimes there's, we said scar tissue, right? Sometimes there is, you get that mass
Mhm.
around it, the thick skin. A beautiful thing. I can do it energetically, but something to play with, which I can't do for you here, is gua sha. Do you know what gua sha is?
No.
So it's literally taking, it's like I learned about it from my acupuncturist, right? Also, maybe having a little acupuncture in that area or
Mm.
acupressure.
Okay.
But gua sha, they take it's called Chinese spoon, but really it's um, taking a spoon, you put a little bit of ointment or
Mhm.
lotion or cream just to soften the skin, and then you take a spoon and you'll feel
Mm.
the ridges, right? So it's the fascia, it's loosening the fascia, and it helps healing.
Oh.
So years ago, this is about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I wish I knew then what I knew now, but I didn't listen to myself, didn't take
Mm.
the steps I needed, and I basically broke my neck. Not broke my neck.
Wow.
I had a disc that was shot. I was the only person under 70, or there were, or 65 in the whole place where the doctor's office, or that are teenagers with broken limbs from sports. It was an
Right.
oddity. And so I had cervical fusion, and they went
Oh.
in through the neck, and I still have a small scar there, but the gua sha is really, so if you, it helps
Mm.
keep the blood flow going. So it'll just help it. But
Perfect.
that's what came through for me. So I want to,
Okay.
that it was the fear, it was the apprehension,
Okay.
and but let's take a moment and just clear
Okay.
just any last stain, any last remnant there. And in fact, take your own hands, rub them together, just gently, and cross your fingers over it. And either in your head or out loud, I thank you for releasing. I thank you for letting me see whatever I needed to see about myself so that I can move forward with all my voice, with all my creative work. Let my light shine, and know that it's okay. I see you, and you no longer serve a purpose or have to serve a purpose. So now you may go. Let's do a little bit of brushing away the fingertips. just as it feels good. And this may seem so silly or subtle to people who aren't familiar with this, but it really is the power we have, the energy that we can work with. It's both subtle and tantalizing, and it's so many things, but the power is in us completely to heal everything, to release everything. And yeah, I think you'll find that it'll go away, but especially as you give it a little smile instead of resistance to it, or like,
Yes.
go away, right? Just meeting it with love, saying, baby, we
Yes.
got this, we
Yes.
got this.
Yes. Thank you. And it's interesting that you did that exercise with me, because that's what I've been doing. I think for me, it was, I moved into a place where I was just accepting it and saying, I see you. I appreciate whatever lesson you brought forth, but I feel like it is complete. Thank you. And I'm ready to release you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a good confirmation. Thank you for that, because
Beautiful.
sometimes even when you're a healer, you can move into that place of like, am I doing this right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Or I always go back to the time as last year I had well, all of my adult life, I had issues with my hips, right? And it was really my sacral, or my sacrum, the physical sacrum, and into my
Okay.
tailbone where I'd had damage as a kid.
Mm.
And it was just seized up, and so that was an issue. And then my right hip was always out, no matter, it was always out. And I had cleared this and had like a year of no problems. And then like another thing happened, and I was like, oh, what now? I should, this is supposed to be gone from my life. And so sometimes you just need a new pair of shoes, right?
Mm.
That's all I needed. I needed to shift the type of shoes I wore. Now you can't, that's a little different scenario, but right. We think sometimes sometimes it's very practical, and we can check in with ourselves and ask our body and follow the guidance, right? I was like, okay, we're going to solve this today because I can't deal with this. I'm like, take me wherever I need to go. I knew it was, I was like, shoes kept ringing in my head, right? Shoes. I'm like, okay, we never have any luck finding shoes. Let's take me where I need to go. And I was like, I doubted the first place. And so I'm like, no, we'll go there last, right? But that was the place that came in, right?
Okay.
And I doubted. And I went to 2 other places and they didn't have anything. And I went to the last place, which should have been the first place. And it
Right.
was exactly what I needed. And literally, like, it was so fast to change. So there's lots of times it is very practical steps, but
Yes.
I
Beautiful.
do feel compelled. You are a beautiful flower. I say that to everyone.
Thank you.
But you are. And so I'm loving these cards, and I want you to tell me when to stop.
Now.
Ooh. Oh, baby, that's a good one.
And it's like busting out the glasses. She's like, okay, we're gonna read this one now.
I'm not gonna say anything just yet. Can you see that?
Oh.
Sacred lotus representing enlightenment. No mud, no lotus. That's enough said. We don't even need to say more about that.
Wow. I love that. I feel so connected to the lotus flower. So this is just so perfect that.
And look at
That's
that.
a card.
It's interesting. Just one thing to notice. 2 are open, and there's more to come, right? There's 2 buds waiting to bloom, waiting to open. More to come. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Andrea. This was such a beautiful session. I'm so grateful to you to offer this to all of us that said yes to come and experience your gifts and your talents that you're getting to showcase through these videos. And of course, we get to benefit. So
Right, right. Well, it's especially beautiful when people who have been at this a while, right? And it gets you because your sense of
mhm,
I know for me, right? There's only a certain people. I get a very visceral yes or no about the people that
okay.
I can work with, right?
Mhm,
For an optimal outcome. And the more and more work you do, right? And then at some point, but even if you've done all the work, right? It's so beautiful to just come and meet someone who you trust and value or have curiosity about. And uh, sometimes we just need a little confirmation or a little love from the universe outside of ourselves. And it can be as simple as that. So
mhm.
yeah. And I won't put you on the spot, but if in case you want to mention what your creative project is, you're more than welcome to. And if you don't, that's beautiful too.
Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, sure, I will share. As people can see, I've got a little logo going up on the corner of my screen called EleVate with V. And so basically through my own healing and transformation journey, I decided to create a podcast so that I could share not only my story, but all these beautiful souls that have helped me along my journey and to share them with others so that they can get the support and resources that I might not have had during my journey. But you don't have to go through that process. You can actually get some resources now.
Yeah, yeah. And you
Yeah.
do a good job with it. I've listened to a couple of the
Oh, thank you
episodes.
so
So
much, Andrea. I really appreciate that. So it's just been such a beautiful offering to be here today, and I'm so grateful. So thank you.
thank you. All right. Well, we will end for today and catch y'all on the next one.
Yes.